Hi y'all, this is So Blessed. Welcome to the Blessed Place. How y'all doing? This is another edition of Wow, Words of Wisdom, where I share with you all things that I've been thinking about and what God maybe have imparted in my heart to share with you. And I was thinking about anger and how so many of us have anger issues. And I'm thinking about if you are that person or if you know someone, and we'll just say we know somebody like this, it's not us. You're just watching so that you could help somebody else, I know. But somebody who's always angry, you're angry at your mom, or you're angry at your dad, or you're angry at your siblings, or you're angry at your child, you're angry at your bosses, you're angry at your acquaintances, you're angry at the waitress or the waiter, you're angry at the people on the phone that you talk to when you're conducting business. You're just always so quick to anger. What is it when you're always so quick to anger? And the other person's not even angry at you. It's not like it's a mutual anger. I'm mad at my mom, but my mom's not mad at me. I'm mad at my siblings, but my siblings not mad at me. I'm mad at my husband or my wife or my boyfriend or girlfriend, but they're not mad at me. I'm mad at, and it goes on and on. And you you think it's always somebody else. I wouldn't be angry if these people knew what they were doing on the phone. I wouldn't be angry if my husband or my wife or my boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other didn't make me angry. I wouldn't be angry if the people at church didn't make me angry. I wouldn't be angry if it's always somebody else. You wouldn't be angry if they didn't do something to you to make you angry. If you're always angry, it's not the other people. You got to look at the least common denominator. What is the common denominator when it's you and your mom, you and your dad, you and your siblings? It's not your siblings who are always mad at each other. It's always you and this sibling, you and that sibling, you and this cousin and you and that cousin, you and this person at church and you and that person at church, you and this coworker and you and that coworker. But it's all you're always in the mix. It's always you're the common denominator. Sometimes it's time to take a look at ourselves and say, am I the common denominator? And if you have anger issues, you can fix that. You don't I can imagine that it has to be a sad life to always be angry, to always be on the defensive, to always think you got to tell somebody off, to always think that you're the one right and everybody else is so wrong because they've done something to you to cause you to be angry. I mean, life is so short. And y'all, and I say this in quite a few of my videos, but I think I'm feeling my mortality with me being 46 years old. No, I'm not old, but hey, I'm not a young hot chick. I'm just an older hot chick now. So I'm not a young 20-something-year-old, hot chick who thinks that, she's invincible and never gonna go anywhere. But at age 46, hey, I'm knocking, knock, knock, knock. Who's there? 50? I'm knocking on 50. And so maybe I'm starting to feel my mortality even more. So maybe that's why I'm always thinking that I'm more than halfway through my life. Unless God allows me to live to be about 100, I'm pretty much more than halfway through my life. I pray to God that I'm at least halfway, that I've got at least another half to go, 46 more years to go. But you never know. And the way I've just been seeing people pass away, like I said, I've just been thinking about my own mortality and thinking about how short and how precious life is and how precious each day. And life is so precious. Why in the world would I want to spend it? We only have so many hours, y'all. When you calculate it, and yeah, you get thousands or millions. I've never calculated it, so I don't know how many, average number of hours or minutes that we get in an average lifespan. But I don't care how many it is, it's never enough. It's never enough. My grandma's 86 years old, and I still don't want her to go anywhere. She's been here 86 years, and I've been with her 46, and I still don't want her to go anywhere. But death is inevitable. Why do I want to spend my precious waking moments on this beautiful earth, regardless of all these issues? I'm sure all of us are thankful to be alive, right? Regardless of what we're going through. Why would I want to spend my precious time angry, defensive, mad, hurt? I don't know about y'all, but I want to spend these days joyous, happy, thankful, in gratitude, in love, spreading joy, laughter. I don't want to spend my days crying. I don't want to spend my days angry. I don't want to spend my days mad. I don't want to spend my days being defensive, being angry. So that's why I wanted to share this wow moment with you all, to let you know, hey, if you're a person like myself who's joyous, happy, rarely angry, rarely mad, rarely depressed, then hey, this is just for your entertainment purposes only. But if you're one of those ones who's sad, depressed, hurting, crying, angry, and always spewing anger at someone else, then this is for you. Life is too precious. Life is too short. Every day, every moment, every hour, it's too precious. So I just want you to think about a few of these things that I'm going to share with you. And I got 5 different points. And point number 1 is look inside yourself. Be introspective. Look inside yourself and first of all determine if you have an anger issue or an anger problem. Now we know that God's word says be angry but sin not. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with being angry because that's just a normal human emotion that God gave us. But he says sin not. And a lot of times our anger goes into sin because we are lashing out at other people. That is wrong. We're gossiping about other people. We're backbiting. We're trying to, like crabs in a barrel, trying to bring other people down because we're angry. We're cursing people out because we're angry. We don't have, we're being envious of other people, other people's lives, other people's good fortune. We're being envious of that. And that is where it becomes a sin. No, just to be angry is not a sin. But when it becomes a problem is when you are now affecting other people's lives. So be introspective and determine, number 1, am I an angry person? Or do I basically have my anger under control? I'm basically a very joyful person and I rarely get angry. That's something you have to decide for yourself, and you have to be real and honest with yourself. Number 2, acknowledge it. If you've been, now number 1, you've been introspective and you've determined, you know what, I am angry and I'm an angry person and it's not pretty. Acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it, you can never fix it. Number 3, find the source. Figure out in your mind, what's the source of my anger? And a lot of times, most of the time, and I will venture to say 100% of the time, there's a source for our anger. But don't blame the source. Life is about choices. We all have gone through some things. We all have issues. Many of us are from some dysfunctional family. As close as my family is, we've had, and I'm sure still do have, some dysfunctionalism in there. But once you grow up and become a mature adult and you make your own decisions and you're no longer in your family's, your parents' home, whatever, it's time to grow up and make choices that are mature choices. And you can't blame the source of your anger. Some of us have very good reason to be angry. Some people, the source is molestation. Some people, the source is abuse. Some people, the source is infidelity. Some people, the source is neglect. Some people, the source is financial hard times, The source could be you were backstabbed by the person who was most precious to you in your life. The list can go on and on and on, and I'm sure you have your own source. And what I mean by source is what is causing my anger. If I really get down to the nitty and the gritty, what is causing my anger? And a lot of times we don't want to face that. We don't want to delve into that because that's a painful, painful place to go back to. But I believe that it's important to go back to that place and figure out, okay, this is the source of my anger. I was abused as a child. I was molested as a child. Um, I was um, I was abused by a trusted friend. I was backstabbed by my best friend. Whatever the source was, I think it's important to know what the source is, but also to not just blame that source and rely on that source for for it being okay, for rationalizing away why it's okay now for you to go and hurt someone else, for you to go and abuse someone else, for you to go and cause pain upon someone else. Just because pain was brought upon us, that is no reason and no excuse and no rationale to now and go hurt someone else. And a lot of times when we have anger issues, that's what we're doing. When we have those anger issues, we are now projecting our hurt onto someone else, and now we're causing hurt and pain in someone else's life. You may be causing your spouse hurt and pain because of what somebody else did to you in another relationship. You may be causing your children hurt and pain because of the hurt and pain that your parents caused you. And then isn't it so ironic that when someone causes you hurt and pain, you say you would never do that to another person? I would never cheat on my spouse the way this person cheated on me. I would never treat my children the way my parents treated me. I would never treat my subordinates at work the way my boss treated me. And then we turn around and do the exact same thing to our children, our spouses, our significant others, our co-workers, our subordinates. We turn around and do the exact same thing. Maybe not in the exact same way. If you were molested, maybe you're not going to turn around and molest your child, but then maybe you're being neglectful. You know, it could manifest itself in different ways. Maybe you were cheated on in a previous relationship, and no, you're not cheating on your spouse now, but you're being either neglectful or you're being mean or cold or um, distrustful. So it might manifest itself in a totally different way, but yet that anger is manifesting itself because of past hurts. So you have to find the source, figure out the source, and make peace with the source and forgive the source. Forgive the parent. Forgive that neighbor, that friend that hurt you. Forgive that family member that hurt you. Forgive that sibling. Forgive that boss. Forgive that company that let you go after 20 years. You know, whatever it is, you have to find the source, forgive the source, move on. Number 4, take it to the source. Yes, take it to Jesus Christ. I know it just sounds like such a cliche, but it is not. I guarantee you it is not. God He has said that you can cast your cares upon Him because He cares for you. He cares for us. He cares. I mean, He knows the number of hairs in our head, just as He knows the number of grains in the sand. He cares for you from the smallest issue to the largest issue, to your deepest pain, to everything about you. He cares. And if you have anger issues or you are hurting and in pain from things that have happened in your past, take it to the source. Take it to Him. Pray. When I say take it to Him, you can talk to Him just like I'm talking to you. You can talk to God. Some people most of the, I think the people who watch me are pretty much Christians, but there are some people who watch me who I know I can remember when I first started YouTube. One guy told me, I don't believe in all that God stuff. He's like, but watching UD is the closest I ever felt to God. The first time, he said, I feel close to God just from watching you. And if that is not one of the biggest compliments I ever received here on YouTube, it just brought joy to my heart. So you may not serve the God I serve. You may not know the God I serve. But I'm telling you, you can talk to him. He cares for you. And it's not just some cliche. It's not just something that those Christians say. It's not just some abstract something in the air. God is a spirit. And he loves you. And he cares for you. And he cares about your anger problem. He cares about your hurt and your pain. And you can talk to him just like I'm talking to you. You say, God, I don't know you, but I've heard of you. And that Deidre, that's so blessed. Your servant told me that I can talk to you, that I can take my burdens to you, that you can heal me, that you can give me joy. Try him and see what I mean. And lastly, number 5, if you need help, get some professional help. Find a therapist. You can find a Christian therapist, a regular therapist, someone at church, but get some help because there's nothing wrong with getting help. Sometimes people, they don't, not that you have to have it. I can't remember, I was watching somebody and they were saying that they had a problem and they didn't go to a professional. They just took it to God and how God took. Can't remember if it was drugs, if God just took the drugs away from them. But sometimes you could just do it just through going straight to the source, Jesus Christ. And he'll take that taste of drugs away from you, or the taste of alcohol, or that promiscuity, or whatever it is, he'll just take it away from you. But sometimes God works through other people. And sometimes you have to go to a professional and get some help. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with going to a professional, going to a therapist. And especially my African American people, we rarely, I think we're coming into the understanding of therapy and all of that a little bit more now as it's 2013. But for the most part, we rarely go to therapy. We say, honey, I got my girlfriends to talk to. Honey, I got my pastor to talk to. Honey, I can talk to Jesus. And all of that is so true. But there's also nothing wrong with going to a therapist, going to a professional and talking it out. Because sometimes just talking it out helps you figure out the source, because sometimes you can't figure out the source. You say, I wasn't abused, I had a great home, I had loving parents, I have a good life. I don't know why I'm so angry. And sometimes the source is, I'm angry because I have all of that stuff, but I don't have anybody to share it with. And sometimes that can cause anger. And you're trying to figure out what's wrong with me. What is wrong with me? Where I have all of this. I had a good upbringing. I have a good job. I look good. All of this has got it going on, but I don't have anybody to share it with. And sometimes that causes anger. So whatever it is that's causing your anger, let's deal with it. Because a lot of times our anger, it's causing other issues. It's causing problems at work where you can't keep a job. Or maybe you keeping a job, but you can't get a promotion. Anybody out there listening to me, you've been on your job for years and you've put in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times for promotion and you've been turned down every time. You might want to take a look at yourself. You might want to take a look at the common denominator. Why aren't you getting a promotion? It could be your attitude. It could be your anger issues. Somebody out there saying, why don't I have a man? Why don't I have a woman? Take a look at yourself. I'm not saying that it's always you, because like I've said in many of my other videos, it could just not be your season yet. But it could also be your attitude. I like how Joyce Myers put it. It could be your stinking thinking. So, a lot of times, our anger issues are causing other problems in our life. It's causing us to be lonely. It's causing us to be sad. It's causing us to miss out on promotion and therefore financial promotion. It's causing us to be lonely. It's repelling people and keeping people away from you. Your anger issues it could cause you to go to jail. I'm sure there's somebody who's listening to me who's done got pissed at the boyfriend and hit him or slapped him or did something and then went to jail and otherwise has a clean slate, but then went to jail for hitting somebody. Because nowadays, they're not just taking the men to jail. Ladies, they're taking ladies to jail. You better keep your hand off these men. Men, you're cheating on women. You're a serial cheater, and you want to know why? Why am I serial? Because you've been hurt. You've been hurt in your past, whether it was physically, mentally, or sexually abused, or whatever it is, and you're trying to prove your manhood. So you're doing these serial cheating, and you want to know why. It's because you have anger issues. So it's time for us to look at ourselves and determine, are you joyful? Are you happy for people? Are you genuinely happy on the inside? And is that exuding to others on the outside? Or are you the common denominator? Always mad at somebody and always think you got to be defensive. I don't know. You tell me. All right, love y'all. Y'all be blessed.